Hello, history enthusiasts and curious minds alike. Thanks for your continuous support. It's because of you that we can dive deep into the annals of history. Today, we turn the pages back to the Treaty of Versailles, a monumental piece of parchment that not only sought to establish peace in the wake of World War I, but also aimed to reshape the face of Europe. So, buckle up as we journey back to June 28, 1919, to unravel the intricacies of this historical document. The Treaty of Versailles was more than just a peace agreement, it was a blueprint for a new Europe. Its main terms were designed to ensure that Germany, deemed the primary instigator of World War I, could not easily rise to military prominence again. This included a drastic reduction of the German army, limiting it to a mere 100,000 soldiers. The treaty also forbade the unification of Germany and Austria, a move seen as a potential power play. Germany's borders were significantly redrawn, resulting in substantial territorial losses. Alsace-Lorraine went back to France while other regions were granted to Belgium, Denmark and Poland. The once mighty German Empire was being carved up like a Sunday roast. Now let's not forget the financial aspect. The treaty imposed heavy war reparations on Germany, amounting to an astronomical sum of £6 billion. That's billions with a B. This was intended to compensate the Allies for the damages and losses they had suffered during the war. And here's a curiosity for you. The Treaty of Versailles also marked the birth of the League of Nations, an international organization aimed at ensuring world peace. Think of it as the grandfather of the United Nations. As you can see, the treaty was a heavy burden on Germany, but what followed was even more significant. The Treaty of Versailles was a loaded gun pointed at the heart of Europe, and it wasn't long before the trigger was pulled. Picture a nation, already battered and bruised, being handed a bill it couldn't hope to pay. This was Germany, post-World War I, dealing with the heavy burden of reparations demanded by the victorious Allies. The German economy, already on its knees, was pushed to the brink of collapse. Hyperinflation soared, making the German mark virtually worthless. This economic instability created the perfect breeding ground for political extremism. Enter Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. Using the Treaty of Versailles as a tool, they stoked the fires of national resentment. The Nazis promised to restore German honor and tear up the Diktat, a term Germans used to describe the imposed treaty, and so the seeds of World War II were sown. But the Treaty of Versailles was more than just a financial burden. It was a national humiliation. One of the most controversial aspects was the notorious War Guilt Clause, Article 231. This clause placed the responsibility for the war squarely on Germany's shoulders. It was a bitter pill to swallow, and the resentment it caused was a powerful force in the rise of German nationalism. In the grand scheme of things, the Treaty of Versailles was a missed opportunity. Instead of fostering peace and international cooperation, it created a climate of resentment and revenge. It set the stage for the most devastating conflict in human history, World War II. The immediate consequences of the treaty were far-reaching and profound. It changed the map of Europe, redrew international boundaries, and set the stage for political and social changes that would echo throughout the 20th century. The Treaty of Versailles was more than just an agreement. It was a catalyst for change, for better or worse. It was a ticking time bomb, and its effects reverberated throughout the 20th century. The echoes of the Treaty of Versailles continue to be heard today, long after the ink dried on its pages. The treaty left a lasting imprint on the landscape of the 20th century, coloring the geopolitical dynamics that followed. It was a pivotal turn in the history of diplomacy, where the victors aimed to reshape a war-torn world, but instead sowed the seeds of another catastrophic conflict. The treaty's legacy is a complex tapestry of triumphs and failures. On one hand, it birthed the idea of an international peacekeeping organization, the League of Nations, a precursor to the United Nations. On the other hand, the severe terms imposed on Germany stoked resentment, laying the groundwork for the rise of Nazism in World War II. As we look back at the Treaty of Versailles, we are reminded of the importance of understanding history, to learn from past mistakes and strive for peace and international understanding. We've come a long way, from the signing of the treaty to its far-reaching consequences. We've explored the terms, dissected the impacts, and reflected on its legacy. The Treaty of Versailles, a pivotal moment in history that reshaped Europe and set the stage for further conflict. Join us tomorrow at 7 p.m. for another intriguing journey through history. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more. Until then, keep exploring and stay curious.